It's Starry. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a regular, welcome back. It's Starry. If you're new here. Oh, let's see who we have in the house this morning. There may be people who choose not to show up because Rob, of course, Rob's at FL Thunder Digging with Rob's live starts at the same time as mine, and then I tend to ask you all to go over to his live. Well, this morning he is having his mega Christmas giveaway. So there may be people who are just choosing to start over there this morning, and that's fine. Let's take a look at the chat, and then we will get started with today's topic and today's giveaway. First person I see in the StreamYard chat is Kovaction. Good morning, holiday craziness. We'll do our best to drop it in the chat again. God is great, who posts hello, my friend, twice, so I assume that means he is in both chats. Philip Wills, Back Road Exploits, Dinglehopper, Donna Reed, Keyman565, Chris Capoon, Mona, Kovaction wishing us good morning. Legless Lockpicker, Tripwire over it, straight up metal detecting. Guedos is here. And Guidos has his screen split, left side Starry, right side FL Thunder. The Nutta channel. And Marlon from MAERvideos is here. Okay. In the description, for those who looked at it, you will know that the giveaway when we get to it later in the show will be Jungle. And I'll explain momentarily why it is Jungle. For now, though, I'm going to pull up a website that is on one of my tabs and go back to Sobo. Okay, so down in the description, you will see the channels that are in the community sticker giveaway later in the episode. And then there is a link to Rob's when we're done here. Feel free to jump on over, or, you know, carry on with Guido's trick of being in multiple feeds, and then you can be part of his giveaway the whole time. If you're over on the Starrylock channel, it seems the ability to redirect a live to another live, you have to have 1,000 subscribers. So that is what the Starrylock channel, which does have 1,000 subscribers, well, 13, almost 1370, I think. But that channel will redirect over to Rob as soon as I am done. If you are on Starry's Lost and Found, you'll have to go down to the description and use the link. Make sure when you jump lives to announce Starry Raid. Also, when I am done here, there is the option, instead of going to Rob's Mega Christmas Giveaway video live, is to head over to DiggingCanuck, which Liz is having her coffee with Liz this morning. 90 minutes after I am done, the highlight of the morning, well, maybe Rob's will be the highlight of the morning for anyone who wins. I think he has over 20 giveaways today, so. But the highlight for my morning will be Merlin and Tripwire over at the Creator Meet and Greet Sundays, where Marlin is having a mail call episode. I think it's mail call 17. And the members giveaway. Guedos will be doing his Hangover Sunday. He actually even had a link up already, so I have that in the description. And Percy and John Clayton over on the Mercy and Metal Detecting channel will be having their live. And it may not seem overly original after seeing Rob's title, but Percy and John's title is the Mega Christmas Giveaway. So that's going to be worthwhile checking out as well. And that is at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which would be 8 p.m. UK time, or 1 p.m. Central Time, or for Marlin, it'll be noon. Chris Capoon is having coffee with me, well, with himself. Okay, I think that covers all the bookkeeping. I'll go over those again at the end of the video, just so that you know what I'm suggesting that you do with your day, but you don't have to listen to me if you don't want to. So, you know to type hashtag jungle. If you want a preview of what channels stickers are in that pack, you can feel free to look at the description. So I know I gave a slight highlight a few weeks ago on Hobo Nichols. I'm going to Liz has stopped by, at least for a time. I know she has her live to get ready for. Blistering Barnacles is in the house. Orlando at 717 is here. We're hopping at 24 people combined. So a few weeks ago, I highlighted something about my Hobo Nichols. The folder that I got at the estate sale, the little... I gotta go shut off the heater. Forgot to do that, but it'll turn into a roar once the blower gets going. If not, then you won't hear me. The folder that I got at the estate sale, the individual areas for holding the flips were falling apart, so I got myself a new folder. This one holds 200 flips, so I combined mine in with the collection that I purchased. And so I am going to be drawing from that collection and mine. In a little while, we'll be taking a look at these 3 hobo nickels. These are all done by Frank Brazel, as far as I can tell. Outdoor Wally is here. What is a hobo nickel? Well, there are 2 types of hobo nickels. You have the original hobo nickel, which according to the lore, the hobos who were migrant workers using the rail system to travel about the US, Canada, and Mexico would take a coin and carve it so as to add an artistic value to it, to try to persuade a merchant of providing a night's sleep or food or something, that your day's labor didn't provide enough funds to get everything. And so those who were talented enough would carve them. Since then, you have what is called modern or contemporary, or the older term, a neobo. And I'll explain why it's called neobo shortly. Coin, which are the people who are carving coins today. Well, from the mid-80s forward. The contemporary nickels are not done as a way to try to survive. They are done as an artistic form. And there are coin carvers who are making what they are calling hobo nickels from all the way from Lithuania, Portugal, Spain, Italy, the UK, Canada, the US. That's the countries I know of. There's probably more. Now, the reason I even got involved with Evil Arch Conservatives is with us this morning, as is LL from Keep Digging. The reason I even got involved in hobo nickels is that Tripwire's opening with the minted coin he has to resemble a hobo nickel got me interested. I did some searching online and found this website. This is the original Hobo Nickel Society. It's $20 to become a member for a year. You get what they call Bow Tales, which is their quarterly magazine. And if you had the finances and the time, or are fortunate enough to live in Florida, you could go to the Florida United Numismatists annual gathering, and that is where the society has their annual auction. And the auction is one of the best ways for you to get access to original hobo coins, those done by carvers who are actually migrant hobo workers, you know, the stuff prior to 1980. I am Zaxxon is here. So, why the whole bow tails, the neo bow? Up until the 80s rolled around, the only surviving known hobo nickel carver was a man named George Washington Hugh, whose nickname was Bo. This is an African American gentleman who learned to carve nickels from a fellow named Bertram, whose nickname was Bert. And Bo was born in, it is believed, somewhere around 1900. And even in his 80s, he was still riding the rails and jumped a train to go to another town in the early 80s. So it would have put him in his 80s and never arrived. And that is, his disappearance is considered the end of classical hobo nickels. Wayside Wade is here. Joyce Europe Vlogs is here. I don't recognize the name, but you remember because you had to be making a chat. So I'll give you a moderatorship until you prove that you're not worthy, which I don't think you will. So there was a book put out in 1982. And sort of two books, and neither one of them were complimentary to anyone who was making hobo nickels in a modern sense. In other words, if you weren't taught by Bo or Bert or one of the nameless hundreds of other hobos, they considered you a neo-bo, an impersonator, a maker of fraudulent hobo coins. And some of the initial people who were carving coins, we have Time and Tide, MD. And you now have moderatorship. Some of the original carvers, I do not have any examples from a man named John DeRussa, who was a Pennsylvania coal miner. He made hobo nickels from the 80s until his death in 94. He claimed to have been a student of both Bo and Bert, but seemed to be just, he took the books that documented hobo nickels and was making direct copies of those and then trying to sell them initially as originals to coin dealers. And Ramirez, who is one of the who is one of the two authors of the definitive books on hobo nickels, called him out on that. And DeRussa started putting his initials on them to identify who he was. As time has gone by, most current carvers are doing so as an art form. They are not trying to pass themselves off as originals. And in fact, the three coins I have from Frank Brazel never tried to pass themselves off as original coins. Frank Brazel had a connection with coin stores in his area around Terre Haute, Indiana. And before making hobo nickels, he'd been making customized love tokens and elongated pennies. He had a tool to elongate the penny, and then he would customize what he was printing on that penny. So he didn't have the elongated penny you get at most tourist locations are designed to print one message. He was making custom ones. If you go to eBay, you can even find the elongated pennies that he made, which ran an ad for himself to push his coins. One of the coin dealers apparently, and this is kind of amorphous and uncertain, but one of the coin dealers he was dealing with suggested that if they provided the buffalo nickels, if he could carve out hobo nickels. And I'm not sure, I assume that the coin dealer was being honest with people, but I don't know. There was a high enough demand. Amanda Adventures is here this morning. Amanda, I know. So she has some great videos exploring locations in the UK. You now have moderatorship, so make sure you're all checking each other's channels out and helping each other grow. That's why I'm giving moderatorship to everyone. And I can see on my channel, Chris Capoon Poaching, thanks for the sticker pack win. He had won one of the prizes in the last 2 weeks. I will not be doing anywhere near any of that kind of giveaway for a while, probably until I'm up to 1,000 subscribers. I spent $200 on shipping. It adds up quick, as you probably all know. So anyway, back to the history here. Frank Brazel was from Terre Haute, Indiana. And from the mid-'80s until the mid-'90s, he made as many as 4,000 hobo nickels. He used a handheld power-driven graver. So he took like 5 to 10 minutes per coin. And most of his designs were simply copying works previously done by Bo, but he was not pretending to be Bo or the student of Bo. Occasionally, he would add FB onto the reverse, but most of his were unsigned, but had a distinctive hair and ear style, making his identifiable. Frank Brazel was a member of the original Hobo Nickel Society, and he joined early enough that he was R96, because you join, you get a membership number. I think mine's in the 1300s, if I remember. Frank Brazel passed away in 1996. There is a look, so you can see what his distinct hairstyle for his carvings look like. I am mostly going by where these were sorted and what they are labeled as being Frank Brazel in the collection I bought. There is another example. And on this one in particular, the way he signed the coin is there as well, with the FB underneath the buffalo. And there is no signature on the back of this one. This one actually looks partially incomplete because you'll notice the feathers are still there and the hat is not completely made. So that might be a partially done one, or maybe that's the look. Maybe he was looking for that look. I don't know. And one probably will, as he's been, passed away 26 years ago. So if you're going to attach a name to a coin for contemporary carvers, if they're still alive, you can purchase directly from them. And that's the best way of making certain that you are getting a coin from an artist. They have a couple different ways in which contemporary artists have a couple different ways in which they sell things. There is a handful who will do auctions on Facebook. And this is another advantage of joining the original Hobo Nickel Society, is that their Facebook page, people will post when they're having these auctions on their Facebook page. You go over, you subscribe, you make a friend, and then you can start bidding on the nickels. They tend to be cheaper that way than they will when you put them on eBay. There are some carvers who will auction their coins on eBay. And there are a few, like Gordon Restrick, who sells his coins on Etsy. So Pocket Woman is here this morning, as is the Sadistic Picker. And I believe I have already said good morning to Evil Arch Conservative, but if I have not, I'm doing so now. And Buscando is here. So Frank Brazel is considered one of the 5 Neobo carvers that made the modern art form into what it is. They are the 5 most known carvers who took Hobo nickel carving away from the original Hobo nickel and, transitioned it to what it is. Do we have any questions out there? I feel like I've been rattling on my entire hour and only covered a half hour of it. I do have, this is just a side note, I do have a coin camera, but I can apparently, because of my setup, I'd have to move back and leave the studio with this camera, change cameras over to the cam. And I'm not sure it's worth it, as I'm not very good at using it. But if people want to take a look more close up at like the hair or the signature on the coins, I can do that. Yeah, Facebook is not, YouTube is not notoriously good at keeping up with notifications, unfortunately. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. My drink this morning is Pocari Sweat. I am not drinking someone's sweat. Don't worry. This is a Japanese drink that's meant for rehydration. On the Facebook auctions, as the carvers are holding it on their individual page, you know who you're dealing with. I guess if you, and they are posting on an announcement that they're doing it on the original Hobo Nickel Society. If they were a fraud, they would have to join the original Hobo Nickel Society in order to get access to their website. And then as soon as they fail to produce a nickel, they'd start getting a bad name for themselves. So it wouldn't last long, I don't think. And Joe from Michigan Gems has joined us. If you're dealing on eBay, it is best to deal with artists that you know directly. There are plenty of people who are selling Hobo Nickels. You don't know what you're going to get, and you don't know whose carving you're going to get. So that's a lot trickier and a lot easier for fraud to be committed. Starry, what's your t-shirt size? Some 2X's will fit me. 3X is a little better. I'm over 6 foot tall and have a little bit of that 60-year-old white guy gut. So yeah, 3X works a little better for me. Yeah, if it's a business advertising, that sounds a little more iffy. I would definitely, if you're looking to buy Hobo Nickels, then there's a lot of carvers who are showing off their works on Instagram and on Facebook. There is the subreddit for Hobo Nickels on Reddit. Seems to be pretty honest. I know several of the artists that are on there, so once you learn the handle that they're selling under on eBay, it's not necessarily a bad place to go looking. But you have to know your artist on eBay to make certain you're not getting either secondhand works of an unknown artist or a poorly made imitation. So. And the very first Hobo Nickel that I received was actually, I joined the Hobo Nickel Society, and to my knowledge, they are still offering this deal where if you join for a year, you not only get your 4 quarterly magazines and access to the auction in the Florida event, but they will send you a free Hobo nickel. This was my first Hobo nickel that I received from any source, which they sent me when I joined. And this one is done by Brent Pearson. Brent Pearson is a fairly prolific modern carver. I have, because of this collection I got at the estate sale, I probably have 20 or 25 of his. And then I have nearly an equal number of Charles Worth coins. So those seem to be the two artists that were popular with whoever it is that created that collection. But on Reddit, when I showed off this collection, I had a fellow by the name of Will Clark asked me if there was any coins in there by Will Clark. There was a Will C, and I showed him the coin, and that is a coin that he carved 9 years ago. And talking to Brent about his coins in the collection I purchased, all of those are 8 or 9 years old from when he was just starting to carve. So I think this collection I have were from late 80s, early 90s, up through about 8 or 9 years ago. So you can get a lot of variation on this. There is an artist from the UK. I can't think of his last name right off the top of my head. But he'll start his bids at $15 because he has a $15 shipping to the US. He doesn't tend to get a whole lot of bids on his. And so you can usually get those for about $15 plus the shipping, which will come out around $30. There's a Canadian artist named Sam Wall who he will auction on his Facebook page, and depending on how many people jump in, you can usually get his for around 50. But it is not uncommon, such as the Stargazer here by Jerry Morales. Jerry Morales' stuff tends to run around $300. And $300 is not out of the question when it comes to the pricing on Hobo nickels. There are several artists, such as Jerry Morales and a guy who goes by the name of Steve Areno, who will make custom. You send them a coin, you tell them what they want, what you want, and they'll make a custom coin for you. There are people who will then take those custom coins and make them into necklaces or other. The classic Hobo nickel started in 1913 when the Buffalo nickel came out. And part of the reason it is thought that the Buffalo nickel was chosen is because it was made out of a non-precious metal, as the quarters and half dollars of those days were, and was the largest surface because it had that large Indian portrait on it, which made it a good-sized area to work with. And so it was the classic Hobo nickel. There was coin carving before the Buffalo nickel, but 1913 is considered the beginning of classic Hobo nickels. Joe over at Michigan Gym sounds like she is not feeling well, so if everyone can send your thoughts and prayers her way, I'm sure she'll appreciate it. And time and medicine will help her get over her cold. Roseanne from She Dig It UK is here. My packages that I sent out in the last 2 weeks from 2 weeks of giveaways are starting to arrive in locations, which Chris Capoon was mentioning earlier, because the sticker pack is there. I am taking anyone who is doing a mail call for my stuff and linking their mail call video on my community tab, just to, not everyone who's receiving them needs my boost, but you know, if it helps, it helps. Most of my questions have come from Backroid exploits. Anyone else have any questions? Otherwise, we can move on to the giveaway. Red Dragon Videos here. So the description gives you a hint as to the stickers that are to be found. This is going to be I'll be sending out stickers that will fit into the card to minimize shipping costs, because last 2 weeks my giveaways have racked up a lot of shipping charges, and my health insurance jumped $250 a month. So money is going to be tight, we'll just say. We'll see if we can show these here. I am throwing in a couple of my stickers. We have the really shiny Starry's Lost and Found established 2021. We have the die cut Starry's Lost and Found. That one is a magnet for something a little different. We have the MAERvideo. We have a sticker from Jerry Morales's design collection as a sticker. We have Nicole's Ohio Metal Maven. We have a Bracton Metal Fishing. For our tripwire, we have one of his Volt stickers. Just checking to make sure it wasn't one of the magnets. Tripwire actually makes all his own stickers, and so sometimes he makes them up as magnets and not as stickers. So. But there is the Vault. You'll be getting a Grandma Kelly's Clean Life, Clean Living sticker. And the big sticker of the day for me is Metal Detecting with Pete. I know it probably would have been easier if I made that into the big screen, but I wanted to make sure you knew to type #jungle if you were interested. PA Patriot Prospecting is here. And we go places tours. It is 8:45. Some of you are probably anxious to be heading over to Rob's to get into his mega Christmas giveaway. According to the thumbnail, there's going to be gold and silver given away today. So as soon as I end this stream, the Starrylock channel will redirect your viewing, take control of your viewing if we want to go to outer limits, and send you over to Rob's channel. But you need 1,000 subscribers for that feature to be available to your live. So the Starry's Lost and Found people will have to use the link down in the description. Make sure you say Starry Raid. I know you've all been really good at that. Rob and Charlie have mentioned how thankful they are for the Starry Raid. Yes, I have a second channel. The second channel was actually my first channel, which is called Starrylock. There's a link down in the description for the other channel. And I was involved fairly heavily about around 4 years ago. I got started in lock sport, and I was picking locks. And after YouTube took that channel away once, I created this channel. And after YouTube took away that channel twice for no apparent reason, I primarily have moved over here. There was also some personal things going on where I did not have the concentration or commitment to get better at lock picking, and so I sort of moved my emphasis. So, long story short, let's move over to the giveaway. Sticker pack. We have 31 people in here and only 17 entries. Type #jungle. I never did explain that, did I? In Hobo lingo, the jungle is a campsite. And it is a campsite located close to the rail that when you become aware of a train coming, you quickly grab your stuff and move and hop a car. Hobo jungles really only existed in towns big enough that they could be tolerated by the local populace. Because you get a small enough town and the citizens of the town will get all righteous and drive you out. If you get too large, you end up with a large police force who can act on you, and the camp can't exist. So the town has to be large enough to tolerate the presence of the camp and small enough not to have a huge police force to come out. Although a lot of times it was the American Legion that would come out and drive out camps as well. So I'm not sure how or why it became known as a jungle, but that is what the campsites were referred to as in Hobo terms. I'll cover a lot more on the Hobo terminology following Memorial Day when the Hobo Museum opens up over in Britt. There was a whole lexicon of symbols that Hobo used to warn or tell you that there was an inviting person up ahead, a generous person, someone who had work, or if there was dogs, or if there was a guy with a gun. And some of that will cover then. Well, have a great day, Amanda. I am glad you joined me. I know Adzi154 is always talking about being here, but 2 o'clock in the afternoon's prime time to explore, just like you're talking. So we are still at 17 entries, 31 people between the 2 channels. I'm not sure if the sticker pack just doesn't interest people, or they just want to leave it to someone else. Or maybe you're doing the split screen and are concentrating more on Rob right now. I don't know. But I'll give you a few more seconds here, and then we'll do a draw. PA Patriot Prospecting is in prime territory for garnets. Yeah, that's always the secret. In order to find something, you got to know how to find it. And Guido says, believe it or not, Rob's almost muted. Okay. Another few seconds. We're still sitting at 17 entries, so either the tool isn't working right, or despite me seeing on the chat people typing #jungle. I'll be right back. Just a moment. If I try to reload it, it'll restart the whole thing. So I'm going to have to hope it's been updating. I know the letters are not case sensitive. You can type it in lowercase, uppercase. And there's no way for a hashtag to be case sensitive, so. You can see people typing it, but you may have already typed it earlier. Let's go ahead and run it. There will be more stickers in the future if you somehow didn't make it in here. Photos Against Anxiety has joined us. And Covaction has won. So the sticker pack will go out to Covaction. Emailing me your address wouldn't hurt. I think I still have your envelope, but emailing me your address will make certain these get out to you sooner. And I will put this all together and Monday is a ship day for me. I have 3 brand new computers and a couple different hard drives to get out in the mail. So this will probably go out on Tuesday as long as you have sent me your address. If you'd like to pay it forward to someone else as a Christmas gift spin again, I just got rid of that. So we're going to have to do, no, I didn't give it away. I just dropped the share. Okay, no problem. Present screen. So we will draw again. Take care, Joe. I hope you get better, feeling better soon. So Covaction wants to pay it forward. So we spin the names again. And if LL over at Keep Digging Metal Detecting I do build computers. I work for a company that makes computers that go into radio stations to help with their automation and all sorts of functions like. So that's what I make my livelihood at. So now I'm asking, I should have your email because you won that not that long ago. So I should have your address with no problem. I will get that out on Tuesday. It may be possible to get it out on Monday if things work out well, but I'm guessing probably Tuesday. We are at 8:58. It is time to jump this gig and move on. For those who are interested, the link down below can take you over to Rob's Mega Christmas giveaway. For those who are interested in joining Liz over at DiggingCanuck, there is a link down in the description. For those over on the Starrylock channel, you can do the auto redirect, and as soon as I end this, it will send you over to Rob. Wherever your destination is, say Starry Raid, so they know that I sent you. I will try to get over there myself. I know I will be on later. Looter 8 is here. Well, good morning, Looter 8. So remember, there are a number of lives today. Rob is going on. DiggingCanuck will start within minutes. Marlin is in 90 minutes. Guido is at 12:20 Eastern, 11:20 Central. Basically just before Marlin ends, Guido starts. And then later this afternoon in the UK, Percy and his co-host John Clayton will, on the Mercian Metal Detecting channel, will be having their Mega Christmas giveaway. So go out into the world and Starry Raid everyone. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you soon.